So I'm going to let this finish where it starts. I'm going to shed light on the places that are so-called too dark. Oh yeah, I've been through it all. The gang-banging, the street walking, and having sex in the park. See, none of this would have happened to me if I had help from the start. See, it all started in this place that sometimes felt like hell, but I still had to call it home. It even included a mother, a sister, and a niece that was only a few years old. But even when they were all home, I still felt alone. By alone, see, I was alone when that light-skinned, 6-foot-tall grown man raped me. See, no one was in the place where I was to call home, where I had a bed. I cried inside because I was fighting a light-skinned, 6-foot-tall battle all alone. But soon I went to war, when I left the place with the unbelievable name of home. At night, I was never alone. Walking down Pimp City Road, I was only 12 years old. Walking up and down what we call a stroll. You see, to him, it didn't matter if I was cold or if I was hungry. All he cared about was me bringing in the money. Let me let you in on something that I find real funny. That sex trafficking is a nonviolent felony. But in this life, violence became my frenemy. Now I'm going to shed my light on the places that are so-called too dark. See, I was beat and hit for things that weren't my fault. And when I'd say something smart, I was raped and called dumb. I never thought that this day would come. I'm not just saying this is coming from my heart. Yes, maybe I want to get a new start, but I want my voice to help others whose world has fallen apart. This is the story of a 12-year-old girl named Ruth. In America, slavery is seen as a thing of the past. But before you even come close to thinking or even believing that this is true, I need to tell you about the modern form of slavery, sex trafficking. Sex trafficking is happening right here in Sacramento. We've, a Sacramento agency dedicated to preventing violence against women, states that California is one of the most common states for sex trafficking, with Sacramento as one of its top hubs. Courage Worldwide states that sex trafficking is a global and growing issue. Statistics estimate that there are nearly 4.5 million victims of sex trafficking around the world. The Blue Campaign states that each year 100,000 to 300,000 American children are trafficked for commercial sex here in the United States. And the average age of these children are 12 to 14 years old. The Exodus Cry states that 98% of these children are girls. An article called John, Creating Demand for Child Sex Trafficking, states that the Johns are the guys who pay money or trade something of value in order to have sex with these girls. And the average age of these guys are 18 years or older. These are grown men who are paying to have sex with 12 to 14-year-olds. This is happening right here, in the place that we call home, in the cities that we walk through, and in the streets that we drive through. But yet still we remain ignorant to this. We go, oh, it doesn't matter because it's not happening to me, or it's not happening to someone I love. But it does matter because these girls are suffering and they're being broken down and they feel like they're worth absolutely nothing. But they are worth something. They are worth just as much as any of us here in this room, and they deserve to know that. Courage Worldwide and Shared Hope International states that sex trafficking starts at a young age, when these kids are beat by their foster or biological parents, or when they are even sold by their own parents. The Polaris Project states that runaway and homeless youth, as well as victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, war, conflict, or social discrimination, are main targets of traffickers. All these kids have no concept of family. They don't know what it's like to be loved, and they've never experienced any type of healthy relationships. They go out into the world and search for love, and search for belonging. But what they end up finding is pimps who manipulate them into believing that they have found true love. But what they take for love turns violent, controlling, isolating, and they are lost into the world of trafficking. These girls are raped. Commercial sexual exploitation of children states that these girls are bought 10 to 15 times per night, which means in 5 years of victimization, they will be raped by nearly 6,000 buyers. And let me remind you that these girls are only 12 to 14 years old. They are raped, they are held captive, and they are brutally beaten. They are told over and over and over again that no one cares, that they have no value, and that this is all they are good for. With such big of a problem, not much has been done to stop it. Under federal law, a convicted sex trafficker receives a sentence of 15 years to life. But in California, for the same exact crime, the sentence is 3 to 8 years. This shows that California does have laws in place to prevent sex trafficking, but they are nowhere near where they should be. A grown man can take away a young girl's childhood, can break her down physically and mentally, make her feel like she is nothing, yet he may only spend 3 years in jail. Shared Help International gave California a 50%, which is an F, for their laws put in place in order to prevent sex trafficking. But a state like Louisiana got a 99.5%, which is an A. This shows that California's laws are nowhere close to any of the other states. They are far from exceeding where they should be, and because their laws aren't strong enough, it's not creating fear in the pimps, traffickers, and johns, and it doesn't stop the buying and selling of 12 to 14-year-olds. Now, we obviously need to do something about this, but before that, I want you to think about this. When you think of someone courageous, you automatically think of a warrior or someone who's done a lot of great things. But when I think of someone courageous, I think it's someone who's willing to stand up and stand out for what's right and what they believe in. So to be courageous, you don't have to be famous. You don't have to have a big name. You just have to be willing to stand out for what's right. And anyone who stands up and takes the fight against human sex trafficking is courageous. So in California, we may have laws put in place in order to prevent sex trafficking. But these laws are nowhere near where they should be. California received an F. And I bet if anyone in this class received an F in one of their classes, they'd be really disappointed and want to do something to change this. We should feel the exact same way about California receiving an F for their laws put in place to change sex trafficking. To change these laws, go to sharedhelp.org/whatwedo/bringjustice/legislative action center/fstates. Once you reach this website, all you have to do is type in a little bit of requested information, and a letter will be sent on your behalf in order to prevent sex trafficking laws. California needs to make our laws stronger. An international justice mission, a human rights organization, in collaboration with Gates Foundation, founded a 4-year study in Cebu, Philippines. They found a 79% reduction in human sex trafficking incidents when anti-trafficking laws are put in place and enforced by equipped police and courts. This shows us that we could have a 79% reduction in human sex trafficking right here in our homes here in California if we were to make these laws stronger. This means that 8 out of every 10 girls that would have been sex trafficked would be saved. To make these laws stronger, all we have to do is go to this website. Okay, so now for all the young men out there who want to take a stand against human sex trafficking, who want to be courageous, become a defender. The defenders are men who have come to understand the commercial sexual exploitation, and they're committed to doing everything in their power to change this exploitation. At the core of its existence is the Defender's Pledge, where men commit their lives to bring honor, dignity, and respect to women and children. This is the website where you can go to take this pledge. These men are committed to helping women show that they care, hold other men accountable, and also to put an end to the destructive market of human sex trafficking. To take the pledge, go to sharedhelp.org/join-the-cause/become-a-defender. We need our men of this generation and all the generations to come to stand up against human sex trafficking so that we can put an end to it, so that it's seen as something so disgusting and undesirable that no one would ever want to take place in it. So, for my last thing, if any of those are too hard for you guys, or it seems like too much work to sign a letter or to take a commitment, then I have one thing that you can do. It doesn't cost any money. You don't have to make any commitments. You just have to be courageous so that we can spread awareness about human sex trafficking together. What I want you to do is take this little bell, put it on your backpack, put it on your purse, or put it on anything that you carry around with you a lot. And what you're going to do is let this little bell ring. Let it ring so that everyone around you can hear it. And when they hear this bell ringing, they're going to want to know what it's about. So then they're going to ask you. And this is your chance. When they ask you, this is your chance to be courageous. This is your chance to stand up for the girls that are suffering. So when they ask you, you get to spread awareness about human sex trafficking. If all of us were to take these little bells and put them on our backpacks, even though it's a very small thing, we could be spreading awareness about human sex trafficking together so that everyone would know what's going on right here in our hometown, here in Sacramento. So no matter if we pick to write letters to our congressman, to become an offender, or wear these little bells on our backpacks, we need to take a stand against human sex trafficking together. We can let no more lives be taken. We can let no more girls be used. And no one ever again can feel like they're worth nothing. We need to be the generation that puts an end to human sex trafficking together for once and for all. So now, you may choose to look the other way, but you can never again say that you didn't know. Thank you.